All right, everyone. As you all know, we've successfully exposed Infinity Ltd's botched human trials and murder for hire through SSNN. The public is demanding their leadership, namely Lucas Drexler, face trial, and he's probably writing his resignation as we speak. Ryujin will be launching a statement, but I believe now is the perfect time to acquire Infinity Ltd.
Believe it or not, I agree. The acquisition has risks, and it's going to create a lot of work for all of us. But the overall payoff will be worth it.
That and Infinity Ltd's current situation makes them more affordable than ever.
Arguments? None? Excellent. Moving on, then.
I think what we're all overlooking is what led us to this situation to begin with. Yes, our security was compromised. But considering Dalton was hired by Masako, the issue obviously starts at the top. In fact, I propose that Masako be removed from CEO altogether.
Ularu, this isn't a line you want to cross.
And considering you're the mole, if anyone's going to be removed from power, it's going to be you.
Hold up. Are you saying you lied to us?
Dalton, the last meeting we had, you distinctly said Imogene was the mole, and she'd been dealt with.
Do you even have any proof to back up this outrageous claim?
Of course we do. The malicious code you hid on this slate to upload incriminating evidence against Masako onto Lucas Drexler's computer.
To put it bluntly, Ularu, you're fired. Security will hold you in your office until a proper exit interview can be done.
This isn't right. I should at least have the opportunity to resign.
And allow you to still be marketable to a competitor? I don't think so. This may be news to me, and I will be reviewing the evidence closely. But this isn't something you just get to walk away from.
Security, escort Miss Chen to her office and see that she stays put.
You'll regret this. All of you.
I believe the only regret would be trusting you to begin with.
All right, back to business. All in favor of acquiring Infinity Ltd?
Aye.
Good. Alexis, start drawing up the necessary documentation. Anyone have anything else they'd like to bring up? If there's nothing else, this meeting is concluded. I'll be following up with a few of you shortly.
It's good to see you again.
So, Infinity Ltd learned a lesson the hard way, and we exposed the traitor among us. You've proven yourself to be quite the asset here at Ryujin. I suppose it is. Gratitude isn't something you typically hear these days in the corporate world. I truly appreciate the work you put into exposing Ularu. No operative has ever had to investigate our own to the extent that you did. I can imagine it may have been a lot of pressure, considering you were fairly new at the time. Imogene's instincts were right about you. Now, as promised, I have your bonus. I hope you'll find it appropriate for all you've done. And I'm promoting you to senior operative. You've more than earned it. And also your opinion. As for the details, I think someone back on the operations floor would prefer to explain those to you.
You've certainly shaken things up around here. I still can't believe Ularu tried to frame me. An obvious misjudgment on my part. But now that's all in the past. It's time to get back to your typical day-to-day. It's nice to see your recent experiences haven't soured you on the company. Now, since you were new, you've been dealing with people, but most of our assignments are generated on the mission board. The board holds any available assignments that our techs have pieced together, and I've approved. Questions? You certainly will. Go check out the board, and if you have any questions, I suppose I can start up an open door policy. Just for you.
Infinity. Go ahead, Maeve.
The SSNN broadcast has started. Shall I patch it through?
Yes, thank you.
Infinity Ltd. and Lucas Drexler are currently under investigation for a number of violations, including murder for hire, unauthorized human trials, and corporate theft. Authorities representing the UC and the Freestar Collective have been dispatched to a consolidated mining station and the clinic. Both locations are believed to hold numerous victims. Drexler's motivation appears to be an attempt to launch a new product based off stolen information from a competitor. The details on the project itself have yet to be confirmed, but it's believed that Masako Imada, CEO of Ryujin Industries, may be involved. A series of communications between Drexler and Imada were discovered, where she encouraged Drexler to ignore approval guidelines for human trials. This has been David Barron for SSNN.
Impossible. You set me up. You expect me to believe you're simply an unwilling pawn in this? We'll see about that. Assuming I know exactly how this situation came about, I have only a few things to say. Should Ularu run this company, the reputation of Ryujin Industries will change dramatically. Her unchecked tactics will be heavy-handed, involving murder without question of both the innocent and the guilty. Ryujin may gain financial success, but the percentage is not worth the real cost. Fine. I'll see to it you get the credits. We'll be voting on the fate of Infinity Ltd. And now I also assume my position is at stake. It's very important we receive at least half the vote on both issues. The CEO rules in the event of a tie. I need you to use everything in your power to convince them. And that includes using the internal neuroamp. I know you can as well, so now you're fully aware of my expectations. You'll find most of the board members in their offices preparing. Vina is also here, waiting for the meeting to start. We'll need at least 50% of the vote to go our way. In the event of a tie, I will make the final decision. I trust you'll get it done. To start this meeting, let me just say that the SSNN allegations are completely false.
And you expect us to just believe that?
If they're false, how did this happen?
I'll be ordering a full investigation, but I have my suspicions, which I'll address once this meeting has concluded. Until then, I'm still CEO, and we'll be moving forward with this meeting to acquire Infinity Ltd.
Do you really think we want a potential criminal? One suspected of being the actual mole here, leading a crucial meeting like this? In fact, I propose we remove Masako as CEO altogether, and nominate myself to take her place.
You can't be serious. And you, I thought we had a deal.
As much as it pains me to say it, I second the motion. My apologies, Masako, but we've failed here. Perhaps new leadership is what's needed moving forward.
Dalton, you can't seriously believe that.
Agreed. I initially believed we could pull through this, but I think a fresh perspective is necessary to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Any arguments against?
Yes, on the fact that I'm innocent and completely capable of doing my job.
Let's leave it up to the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
I had a feeling this would go my way.
Traitors. All of you.
Well, there you have it. And now, since you're no longer a part of this board, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
This isn't over. Says the biggest traitor of them all.
Now, Masako. Don't go taking out your shortcomings on our operative here.
Enough with your attitude, Ularu. I don't care what anyone says or what the evidence is. I know you're behind this. And I'll prove it, no matter how long it takes.
Good thing you're going to have plenty of time on your hands, then. Security. Why don't you escort Masako to her office? I'm sure law enforcement will be looking for her soon anyway. Now, let's get back to business. So, any arguments for the acquisition?
This acquisition is sure to have its financial pitfalls, but as a wise person pointed out, it would have major payoffs in the future. Plus, with their current situation, Infinity Ltd will be more affordable than ever.
Legal ramifications are a certainty, but the benefits far outweigh the disadvantages.
Arguments against? None? All right. All in favor of acquiring Infinity Ltd?
Aye.
Excellent. Not bad for my first meeting. Does anyone have anything else to bring to the table before we break? I almost hate to ask now, but are there any other matters to bring forth? No? Good. Meeting adjourned. No more Masako as CEO. Well done. Of course, we're now acquiring Infinity Ltd, but I'll leave that mess for the others to handle. You've proven yourself to be quite the asset here at Ryujin. For me especially. I suppose it is. Enjoy it while it lasts. It takes guts for someone in your position to go up against the CEO. And Masako never saw it coming. Imogene's instincts were right about you. It's a shame I had to sacrifice her. Now, as promised, I have your bonus. I'm sure you'll find it adequate for all you've done. I'm also promoting you to senior operative. You've certainly proven yourself capable enough. If that helps pad your ego, so be it. As a senior op, you now have a personal office, mission board access, and you're free to work on your own time. The mission board will hold any available assignments, although I may still notify you should I require your more specific talents. Oh, and not that it ever really applied, but no more docks in pay. I only care about the end result, not the methods. Any questions? In that case, I suggest you get familiar with the mission board before you leave today. I'll admit, you helped me pull off a pretty big win. So, if you want to take some time off, I get it. Just don't forget, you still have a job that I expect you to do.
To start this meeting, let me just say that the SSNN allegations are completely false.
And you expect us to just believe that?
If they're false, how did this happen?
I'll be ordering a full investigation, but I have my suspicions, which I'll address once this meeting has concluded. Until then, I'm still CEO, and we'll be moving forward with this meeting to acquire Infinity Ltd.
Do you really think we want a potential criminal? One suspected of being the actual mole here, leading a crucial meeting like this? In fact, I propose we remove Masako as CEO altogether, and nominate myself to take her place.
You can't be serious. And you, I thought we had a deal.
Any arguments against?
Yes, on the fact that I'm innocent and completely capable of doing my job.
No one asked you, operative.
If we vote Masako out now, the public will think we're admitting her guilt without any investigation.
Yes, I find this motion to be hasty and ill-advised. Basing a critical decision off an SSNN broadcast is hardly wise.
Let's leave it up to the vote. All in favor? You're kidding, right? I hope you're all aware of the huge mistake you're making by continuing to support Masako.
Enough. At least we all know where everyone stands. Now, let's get back to focusing on what we're actually here for. All those in favor of acquiring Infinity Ltd?
Aye.
Good. Alexis, start drawing up the necessary documentation. Anyone have anything else they'd like to bring up? If there's nothing else, this meeting is concluded. I'll be following up with a few of you shortly. So, it looks like both Infinity Ltd and Ularu learned a lesson the hard way. It's unfortunate about Imogene, but in our business, she wasn't the first, and certainly won't be the last. You've proven yourself to be quite the asset here at Ryujin. I suppose it is. Gratitude isn't something you typically hear these days in the corporate world. I truly appreciate what you've done. No operative has held the future of this corporation in their hands like you did. I can imagine this wasn't quite the job you envisioned when Imogene first hired you. It's a lot of pressure for a new hire. Imogene's instincts were right about you. It's a shame ours weren't right about her. I never would have expected to hear those two weren't on the same side. I'll need to launch an investigation to be certain, but I appreciate you bringing this to my attention. Now, as promised, I have your bonus. I hope you'll find it appropriate for all you've done. And I'm promoting you to senior operative. You've more than earned it. And also your opinion. With your new position, you now have an office with mission board access, and you're free to make your own hours. The mission board holds your assignments, and you can pick and choose to your strengths. Although, I may still have more specific assignments for you. Questions? Good. You may get started at any time, but I suggest you familiarize yourself with the mission board before leaving. You've put in a lot of hard work here recently, so I understand if a vacation is in order. Just don't forget, you still have a job to come back to.